You got anything in these parts in the cook sticker stab me?
I don't know.
You don't know. I mean, let's think about it.
I don't know the responsibility.
Well, if we start pulling out needles, man, we're gonna start getting. We're not gonna be so nice anymore.
I know. I got you. I felt like this was a setup today. I felt like they were setting me up for something today. I really. Oh God.
Hey, brother, listen to me real quick. Hey! Hey, come here. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah, you Corey? What's your name?
Corey?
What's your name?
Ben.
Why don't you come down here?
Why is that?
Just stand right here.
Alright.
What's going on today?
We're around the corner.
Who lives here?
Huh?
Who lives here?
What's that? These guys? I had no idea. I was trying to help them from Mountain Mount. Literally, they just brought me along to help them out.
Who brought you along? You. Hey, look at the ground real quick. What's the address here?
The address here, I do not know.
Okay.
But I know East Avenue that way.
Okay.
I want to go that way. I can go home. They get recruited me to start helping people. And then they're here all of a sudden and then they're gone.
Okay. What's your name?
Benjamin Ford.
Okay. Keep your hands where I can see them, please. Benjamin what?
Benjamin Ford.
How do you spell your last name?
MCCOY. You guys got me here, told me to go towards Acme with these bags, and I don't know where you got her in the hands.
Did you take anything today, man?
No.
You suffer from any mental illness or anything like that?
I've had anxiety issues.
You want to go down to the hospital and talk to someone about that?
No, I'm alright. I just seen somebody yesterday. I'm actually doing good, but I saw anything. Why they're with me, working with me, telling me where to go, and then all of a sudden I turn around and they're gone again.
So why are you banging on this person's door?
I don't know.
No, I have not.
No, I'm not sure about this person's door. I thought I was supposed to be on one of these doors is all I knew.
Where do you live?
Norton.
So how did you end up in Akron?
Can I talk to you in there?
Yeah, please.
You know him?
No clue who he is. He tried to break in the fucking house.
Did he pull on the door?
He was pulling on the door. He was beating on it. He was hitting the window. He was pushing on it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Did he say anything to you?
He tried to say he didn't know I was here, knowing that he was screaming bloody murder about someone's name and saying, let me in.
Yeah, he said he noticed someone. He thinks it was his house.
No, this is
So, okay.
I mean, the way he was pulling on my door and hitting it and falling against it, and I was like, is he trying to break in?
Was this locked?
No, he almost pulled it off. He was hanging on it.
So did it come open? Do you know?
Oh yeah.
It did. Okay.
It was wide the fuck open. This he couldn't get into, thank God.
Okay.
But he was throwing himself up against it. That's why I called 911.
So he was trying to kick.
Yeah, she was trying to get in here like he knew who the fuck he was, and I'm like, so who this is?
Okay.
And I didn't want to even contact him because I'm not going to get into a fight telling him this is the wrong house.
Sure.
So I just called you guys because it scared the shit out of me.
But you just want him gone then?
That's all I want.
Okay.
Just take him somewhere else, please.
Okay. All right. If we need you, I'll knock again. Okay. Thank you.
Constitutional analysis of a February 2025 detention, search, and arrest under 4th, 5th, and 14th Amendment standards. Under Terry v. Ohio, 1968, an investigative detention requires reasonable, articulable suspicion of criminal activity. Articulable facts from dispatch combined with on-scene observation easily clear that threshold here. Brinegar, United States, 1949, defines probable cause as facts warranting a reasonable belief a crime occurred. First-hand witness testimony of forcible entry attempts independently establishes probable cause to arrest.
I won't bang on the door. I need to drive it.
Anything gonna let you inside? Yeah. Acting like this, you can't even stand still for more than second.
no. No, let me inside.
You have cousin's phone number that I can call him?
Oh, no, it's not my head right now.
Okay, so you just expect to walk there?
Yes, sir.
And he's gonna let you just come in and hang out?
Yes, sir. I'm trying to get some more hands. That's all I'm asking.
You know where it's warm?
I'm not trying to call.
You want to go to the warming center?
No,
You want to go somewhere warm, but you don't want to go to the warming center?
I don't know what the warming center is.
It's over on Flores.
So what? What day is it?
Today? Tuesday.
Who's president?
Donald J. Trump. So what he says. Hey, I know it's business. I'm telling you,
you're not making,
I don't know all these guys.
like my partner said, you're not making any sense. You're banging on someone's random door. You can't stand still.
14.
I must have got the wrong door. I didn't know that. And I apologize for whatever.
Odds are, if we let you go, we're just going to get called right back, either for you falling in the snow or you bang on somebody else's door because you're freezing cold.
I promise I won't have it. And if that happens, you do whatever you gotta do.
Well, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Okay, thank you. I walk. No problems will be made. I promise you.
You got a phone? And you don't want to go to the warming center?
No.
Because I doubt your cousin's going to let you in acting like this.
No, my cousin knows how to talk. When I'm in kind of
So what did you take, man?
state of my mind.
State of your mind.
State of the mind, you know?
Why don't you get off that person's car, baby?
Yeah, like, so he knows exactly what he's got to fed me, calm me down. He knows he's been my best friend my whole life.
You want to go to a hospital and get checked out?
No, that don't
You
work.
got a lot going on.
That don't work there with my cousin.
Is this your bag?
He will probably make me.
Bag?
They will probably.
Sir, is that your bag?
I believe so.
Mind if I look at it?
Yeah, I mind.
You mind or you don't mind?
No, I mind. I don't know what's in it.
You don't know what's in your
So
bag?
is it your bag or not your bag?
I don't know.
Let's try that again.
Hey,
Go ahead and keep your hands out of your pocket for me, bud.
I'm just saying. I can't tell if it's my bag or not.
Yeah.
You don't know what your bag. You know what your bag looks like, man.
He said he doesn't know if it's his bag.
Is it your bag or not your bag? Answer the
I have
question.
no idea.
You have no idea.
No idea.
So now you have no idea whose bag that is over there.
No.
Okay.
No,
Well,
if
it
it's
sounds
not
like
your
it's abandoned
bag.
property and we're gonna throw it away. Can't just leave trash laying around. Right?
That works.
So if it's not your bag, we're just gonna toss it. Right?
Sir.
Schneckloth v. Bustamante, 1973, requires consent to search be voluntary, unambiguous, and freely given. California v. Greenwood, 1988, removes Fourth Amendment protection from genuinely abandoned property. United States v. Tugwell, 8th Circuit, 1997, holds that disclaiming ownership can constitute abandonment. Yet abandonment by disclaimer is fragile. Suppression follows if the renunciation was uninformed or coerced.
Somebody's calling you.
Maybe your cousin.
Yeah, they might be wondering where you're at.
Talk to him when I'm talking to you guys.
It might be a good idea to pick up the phone. You might need to. They might be coming to pick you up.
Right now, guys. He's trying to pick up you guys in a moment, okay?
Why are you emotional?
I just how much I get with this. When people are like, I don't know, I feel like he's trying to get over on me.
Keep your hands out of your pockets for me, Mike.
My hands are cold.
What? Oh, you mind if I check you, make sure you don't have any weapons or anything illegal on you? Then you put your hands in your pockets? You good with that?
What's that?
I said, are you okay if I search you to make sure you don't have anything illegal on you, then you can put your hands in your pockets?
I'll blow my hands.
Hey, 1-3.
Turn off.
What's up?
Turn off.
Okay.
Hold still. Still as you can, alright?
What's wrong?
You're going to be putting handcuffs right now, right, man?
Come on.
Chill out.
I am my hand. What's wrong? I don't understand what's wrong. I just don't understand what's going on.
I'd say the most of your issues probably stem from you coming back and just trying to buy dope.
Huh?
Yeah.
Come over here in the cruiser, dude.
Jeez, bro.
Damn, man. Stand still, dude.
Not even trying. But I don't understand what's going on here.
You got anything in these parts in the cook sticker stab me?
I don't know.
You don't know. I mean, let's think about
I
it.
don't know the responsibility.
Well, if we start pulling out needles, man, we're gonna start getting. We're not gonna be so nice anymore.
I know, I got you. I felt like this was a setup today. I felt like they were setting me up for something today. I really Oh, God.
Hey, brother, listen to me real quick. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can will be used against you before the law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you during questioning. If you wish, you can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand those rights I explained them to you, sir? Yes? Can I get a verbal yes or no? Yes. Okay.
A Terry frisk needs only reasonable suspicion the subject is armed. Repeated reaching toward pockets satisfies it. Reliance on Terry doctrine produces a stronger appellate posture than the consent framing used here. Miranda v. Arizona, 1966, mandates warnings before custodial interrogation, not at the moment of arrest. Berkemer v. McCarty, 1984, defines custody by whether a reasonable person would feel free to terminate the encounter. Pre-interrogation timing, slow recitation, and verbal confirmation reflect gold standard Miranda compliance.
Sir, what kind of drugs did you use today?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl?
What's your first name?
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
Yeah.
Alright, let's have a seat. Seat back here in the cruiser.
You're not Tom Moore.
Oh,
shit.
I'm going here like, what do you mean, man? I just, I don't know what to do, man.
Boy, it's cold as hell out here.
Take it or what?
Step out for me. Walk this way.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it once.
My back's straight. I'm trying to bow down my back's starting to creep up.
Go ahead and take a seat.
Watch your head getting in.
It's a big step, you know? Alright, go take a seat.
Sheehan v. San Francisco, 2015, left ADA application to active arrests open. Lower courts continued developing the doctrine. Estelle v. Gamble, 1976, imposes a duty to address serious medical needs in custody. Booking screening is mandatory. Failure to screen apparent crisis can support deliberate indifference claims under 42 U.S.C. Section 1983. The officer earns a B+, solid Terry detention, exemplary Miranda, but a vulnerable abandonment-based search. The subject earns a C, properly refused consent, but disclaimed ownership of his own property, undermining that refusal. The department earns a provisional B, pending records on post-arrest medical screening and training. Lesson 1. Anchor frisks in Terry doctrine when officer safety facts independently support intrusion. Lesson 2. Abandonment requires a knowing, voluntary disclaimer. Document it or seek a warrant instead. Lesson 3. Cognitive orientation does not preclude crisis. Booking stage medical screening is non-negotiable. Lesson 4. Refusing consent is strongest when paired with full cooperation on lawful safety commands. Let us know which legal topic to cover next in the comments. Thank you for watching.